What is going on in my Houston Texans family? It was day 6 of training camp, day 2 of padded practice, and we have a lot to talk about. The offense looked better all around. The quarterbacks, the wide receiver, more importantly, the offensive line, and I think 4 out of the 5 spots are solidified. CJ Stroud looks more comfortable in this new Nick Caley offense. With pads on, Nick Chubb looks better. Now, this defense was still doing its thing. But I can honestly say that today was a more even fought battle between the offense, between the defense. I wasn't there yesterday, but if I were to compare this practice to Saturdays where there was no pads, it was night and day. Because the Texans defense significantly won the battle on Saturday. If you were asking me, and I'm going to add a little bias here, I would say the offense barely won the day. But I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm talking about. If you were at practice, let me know in the comments down below. Shout out to everyone that I met. And let me also say this, training camp, they're not playing this year. If you get up to go take a piss or go grab a beer, you're going to be, you could possibly lose your seat. I don't know why they cut the bleachers in half. I don't know. They wanted to make more, room where everyone is supposed to walk. Not a fan of how tightly packed we are this year, like some sardines. But my name is Mr. 713, and this is the 713 Houston Sportcast, where I drop daily Houston Texans content. Please make sure you guys are following me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for the latest Houston Texans news, rumors, and updates. Now, let's start with the offensive line because that's really what everyone wants to see. Well, I'm talking about myself. I think 4 out of the 5 spots are solidified. Cam Robinson's your left tackle. Book it. Laken Tomlinson's your left guard. Book it. Titus Howard is your right guard. Book it. Now, this is where it gets interesting. At right tackle, I think leading the race is rookie Ariante Ursery. And I think if week 1 was tomorrow, I think the Texans start with Ariante Ursery at right tackle. Now, Blake Fisher on Saturday, like I said, was just getting dominated by Danielle Hunter. Blake Fisher had multiple false starts today in practice as well. Now, he looked good against the 2s and 3s, but I think the race, it's pretty clear who's in front, and that's Ariante Ursery. Now, the one that's undecided, the one has been undecided pretty much all year is the center position. And it's between 2 guys. Both has started the last couple of days at center during padded practice. Jared Patterson and Jake Andrews. Juice Scruggs is not even in this center competition. I think this is an even battle right now. I think the Texans might want to get through maybe 1 to 2 preseason games to determine who is going to be their starting center. I really don't know who's leading the race. I understand why some would say Jake Andrews. I understand why some would say Jared Patterson. But I think the offense looked good today with Jared Patterson. Yesterday, Harley said the offense looked good with Jake Andrews. The competition that the offensive line gave today, I was proud of. I would say that the O-line did not get bullied today. It was a physical practice. It was a war in the trenches. I mean, there was a moment where, after blocking, Titus Howard is right on his ass, just catching a breather. They were going to war. It wasn't like it was on Saturday. CJ Stroud had time to operate, was able to make some big plays. One of them to Christian Kirk that would have been the 30-plus. Davis Mills, a big connection to number 84, Watson. Justin Watson, I'm sorry. Graham Mertz even had some good plays in. First, second, third team offense, they had their moments. Now, it's not like the defense didn't have theirs. Kalen Bullock picked off CJ Stroud again. Guys, Kalen Bullock might be an all-pro this year. He is having himself a fantastic camp. After he got that interception, him and CJ Gardner-Johnson, they started getting lit. I love the energy that CJ Gardner-Johnson is bringing to the Houston Texans. There was also, some moments where the defensive line just completely, just, I wouldn't say completely, but there were times where the defensive line won the matchup. But it was a more even fight. And like I said, I'm going to add some bias. I would say the offense just barely won the day. Jaden Higgins, the rookie wide receiver, another solid practice. Woody Marks on special teams. Not only as a gunner, but as a, I don't know what they call opposite of the gunner, but the guy who's supposed to protect the punt returner was not letting his guy get to the back. The tight ends had some moments also. One thing about this Houston Texans offense is they are emphasizing getting the ball out quick. Which is kind of what you want to see, right? Because we are having some concerns about the offensive line. Well, getting the ball out quick is one of the things that you want to do to make sure your quarterback doesn't get blasted. I liked how in the beginning of practice, there was a moment between special teams coach Frank Ross and general manager Nick Caserio. They were throwing the football back and forth. The energy is there, ladies and gentlemen. It feels like Nick Caserio is in an element that he knows. I don't want to dig too much deep into that. I don't want to think too much more into that. But Nick Caserio is having fun. Today, I think, was a solid day of training camp. We saw a team go to war today. Made you love football. Made you realize there's a difference between us and them. With that being said, guys, it was day 6 of training camp for the Houston Texans. Day 2 of padded practice. For more Houston Texans content, you guys all know what to do. Feel free and follow me for more. I love you guys. Have a blessed day. We'll see you guys soon.